Probably my biggest challenge that, I'll start that again. Hi, my name's Jake Lester. I'm a fourth year physics student here at the University of Nottingham, and I'm also the president of PhysSoc, which is the student-run physics society at the University of Nottingham, and we have about 700 members, so that's what I look after. I chose Nottingham because of a number of reasons actually. I was coming back from an open day in Cambridge and we stopped off at Nottingham just to have a look at it before the open day itself, and the campus is amazing. It's green, it's really big, it's it's really beautiful, and also the actual open day itself when we came a couple of weeks later was really helpful and really nice, and everyone wasn't so much focused on just the academic side. It was more on the social side and a lot of support for students, whereas other universities were very much focused on just academic aspects of it, and I like the fact that there was more of a social and enjoyable aspect to the degree at Nottingham. Probably the biggest challenge that I faced at Nottingham is trying to juggle a lot of deadlines at once with the content. So for example, in my third year I had a project in first semester that was 12 weeks long, and I was spending maybe 10 hours a week on that alongside all the content and the coursework and the workshops that go along with third year physics. So that was quite difficult to get on top of, but I think it's a matter of just organising your time. And if you get up and you come to uni and you treat it as if it's almost a job, do your work and you can go home and relax and you don't have to worry about it. So yeah, it's a step up, but I am paying for a degree, and I want to make the best of it. So it's a challenge, but I think anyone can get over it. So PhysSoc is the student-run physics society at the University of Nottingham. We've won awards before for Best Departmental Society in 2014-15, and we've also won Best Trip in 2011-12 to CERN. And since then we've run a variety of events, both academic, social and career-based. So every year we have social events to get the sort of cohort of physics students together between years, and it's nice to have that cohesion between years rather than having everyone separate. And the committee, there's 10 of us, I'm the president, and there's 9 other committee members. We all work throughout the year really hard to try and make sure that all the events we put on are inclusive and everyone enjoys them. So it's quite a big operation. It's almost like running a mini business when you've got to organise all these events in advance and put in the forms and whatnot. We think it's important for PhysSoc to be an active member of the physics community because physics is a hard degree. Everyone is relatively stressed. First year is stressful when you're in first year, second year stressful in second year, and so on. So everyone's always under a level of stress, whether that's coursework or deadlines or project reports. So we think it's a good idea to have that sort of aspect where people can just chill out. So PhysSoc is also open to non-physics students. If you're not a member of PhysSoc, you can join it. One of the key things that we do is telescope training. So there's a telescope on the roof of the physics building that if you're trained properly with, you can go up and use and take pictures of Jupiter or Saturn or some nebula, which a lot of people who don't do physics but did it at A-level or are interested in it are really keen on. At our welcome fair stall, we had a lot of people come up to ask us whether they could use the telescope if they were a member, but they didn't do physics and they weren't sure if they could join. So it's open to anyone. We try and encourage anyone who's interested in learning more about physics or wanting to use the telescope or just that to come along and join us or to ask us any questions. It's hard to juggle with the studies, particularly in fourth year, because you have deadlines sort of every, the fourth year is structured into blocks, so you have 6-week intensive blocks as some of the year, so you have deadlines quite frequently, and it's hard to sort of keep on top of that with the rest of the commitments, but it's a matter of communicating with the rest of the committee, making sure that everyone else knows what's going on, everyone's comfortable, having meetings frequently, and keeping on top of all the events throughout the year, sort of having a plan. If you don't, it is very hard, but I do manage to just keep my head above the water. So the peer mentoring system was set up a number of years ago, I believe probably the year before I arrived, so that would have been 2013, 14 I think. And what it is a system where we have first year students coming in, normally around 200 of them, so there's a lot of first year students, and then we have higher years who volunteer to be a peer mentor, and what that is providing academic advice and support about housing and about Nottingham itself to these first year students, because obviously it's a scary time for them with coursework, and then they're paying for their degree, so they want to do well, and then they're obviously got the social aspects of it, they've got the family aspects of it, they might feel homesick. So it's good to have someone they can talk to who isn't an academic, who they can relate to, who's just a year above them or maybe a year older, or maybe even the same age, who's been through the first year, who can tell them a bit about the modules and what to expect. We meet up in a room every Monday, 12 till 1. The school orders pizza in, and it's just a chance to catch up with your mentor, have any questions about the first year, about the modules you might be doing, and just get a chance to know people. So it's a really successful scheme. We've had feedback that people have really enjoyed it, and a lot of people that have been mentored have then gone on to be mentors themselves. So it's a successful scheme, and I help run that and organise that over the summer. So I chose to study physics because I liked particle physics and nuclear physics. I remember being sat in A-level, it must have been AS level, and learning about more about the electromagnetic spectrum and thinking, oh, this is really cool. So it's sort of the awe and mysticism of physics made me want to go and do it. And ever since studying it at A-level, I've always wanted to go on and learn more about it. And it is a hard subject, but I think I've tried really hard from my A-levels and through my degree to learn the content and try and keep on top of it. And it's just really interesting, when you're going into a lecture and you're learning more about relativity or about particle physics or about quantum mechanics, which is really strange. And then obviously you've got the more classical aspects of it as well. There's a variety of different things you can do: astronomy, nanoscience, medical, theoretical physics. So it's just the variety of it was really interesting. I wanted to do that over, for example, history, which is what I also took at A-level. When I was younger, I actually wanted to be a chef. Yeah, so I remember getting a Gordon Ramsay cookbook and making salmon. I must have been in year 9, must have been 13, 14. And I was really excited by it. I got help from my parents, obviously. But then I realised that it was a lot of hard work and I wasn't really too good at chopping and cooking skills. I was a bit better at maths than I was at cooking, so gone back to cooking a little bit now, but wanted to be a chef. And then after that, I wanted to work at CERN. I'm now not so much bothered about working at CERN. I'm not bothered about being an engineer and moving into sort of the engineering side of the world and whatnot. So trying to be either a mechanical or a design engineer maybe.